points where minds collide. Annie and Kerrie gonna be your guide. Psychic wonders and spiritual delight will unveil the mysteries in the light. Tune your senses, sharpen your mind. Feel the energy, let your soul unwind. Tarot cards and angels' wings. Sound healing makes your spirit sing. Mind, body, soul connection strong. Find your peace where you belong. Meditate, elevate, discover ways to brighten up your darkest days. Energy flowing through your veins. Unlock your power, break the chains. With Annie and Kerrie on this ride, discover the universe inside. Healing words in crystal glow, guiding through the ebb and flow. Feel the love that we impart. Awaken the magic in your heart. Mind, body, soul connection strong. Find your peace where you belong. Meditate, elevate, discover ways to brighten up your darkest days. Mind, body, soul connection strong. Find your peace where you belong. Meditate, elevate, discover ways to brighten up your darkest days.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello,
Amanda. Have you recovered from yesterday?
So funny. Hi, Gail. Welcome aboard. Should be a fun night tonight.
It should be interesting.
Yes. Well, I just sort of sat with the guides this week and just said to them, okay, so what should we really be doing with everybody as a chat topic? And they really wanted us to hone in on this, understanding the difference between our own mind and spirit communication. Hi, Jeanette. Hi, Ray. Hi, Anne. Lovely. Hello, beautiful Anessa. So they gave me some communications, and then I've just created dot points from there. So there you go. We'll see how it all goes.
I'm very excited.
Have you got chat tonight, Annie?
I got chat.
Yay!
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Michelle. Last week I didn't have chat. I couldn't see what anybody was saying.
Welcome
Today,
back.
I've got chat.
Yeah, awesome. Because I'm going to leave chat to you tonight, I think. So
Okay.
I can, and then obviously jump in on the dot points. I expect you to.
Yes.
It's not an unfamiliar topic to either you or me. So that's always a good thing. Hi, Sophia. But we're both, I think, extremely tired tonight. So we just said, yep, we got to jump on here and sparkle for a while.
Where's my sparkles? Are they here? No,
Yeah,
they're on this.
they're on the other side. Yeah.
That's the best I can manage tonight. We both had huge weeks.
We have. And Annie, you did a tea leaf reading party today.
Oh, I had so much fun. It was at Trevelyan Lifestyle Centre, and it's just such a beautiful space. And I read for the lady, Chelsea is the young woman who runs it, but it was her mum that set it all up. And she's older than God. And she's really, really tired. And when I was reading for her, I was just kind of saying to her, you know, I've read for people, I've done tarot readings for people there. And the comments that I've had are like, when I'm sad, I come here and I just sit because it's got all the plants And when I'm working there, I'm a fairy at the bottom of the garden. So I'm working
Mm,
outside at the bottom
yeah,
of the garden. And I had a lady say that, you know, like when she's sad, she just comes and sits there. And the energy from all of the plants, which are just beautiful, and the trees and the calm and the stillness, and it's in the middle of bloody Brasso, but you
yeah.
could be in a different planet. And
Mm-hmm.
while I was there was a lady sketching. So she was just wandering around and she was sketching the flowers and things. And I
Nice.
said to this lady, you know, her mum, I said,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this is what people are saying to me. And I said, this is your legacy. You've worked so hard to create this beautiful space. And when
Mm,
people come here, it's like a little oasis in the middle of a really busy Ipswich place where you
yeah.
can just breathe and go,
Mhm.
whoa. And when I was saying all that to her, it made her cry because
Yeah.
she has worked really, really hard to get the energy of that
Mm-hmm.
place. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
anywhere near Ipswich, it's on Fernvale Road and it's just the most glorious shop. They've got plants and they've got pretty things and they've got a coffee van so you can have a cup of coffee and then there's little chairs in little corners all over the place. And it's just such a lovely place to just
Yeah.
sit for a minute and
Yep.
leave the world behind.
Which is just so nice. We
Mm,
need places like that. Just that place for stillness.
yeah.
You know, like how important that is just to have that space.
Nobody wanted to go home. So
Like
after
I,
we had done the class, I had to make more tea.
yeah,
And we just all sat about yarning and
yeah,
drinking tea. Oh, Kerry, I need to tell you this.
yep.
There was a young man there, he's a teacher, and he's written a book, and I bought his book, but he's going on this 5 week trip. And he did this trip in his 20s, and now he's in
Mm-hmm.
his 40s, and he's decided he needs to do it again. So the book that
Wow.
he wrote was about the trip the first time around. And this one is about the trip the second time around. So I was telling him about you and Colleen's trip
Mm-hmm.
and about
Mm-hmm.
how you use the divining rods. And he said, I can't do that because I'm by myself. And
Yeah.
I can't remember the words he
Tell
said.
him to put his hair in two little ponytails and just stick them
No
down.
hair. What he said though is there's on a yacht, there's these, it's like strings. And if the strings are going this way, it means you've got to readjust your yacht.
Yeah,
And if
your
the strings are
sails.
going
Yep.
this way, you've got to readjust your sails. And if
Mm-hmm.
the strings are coming straight back at you, that means your line is true. So
Mm-hmm.
he's going to put strings on his car. And if the strings go this way, he's going to go that way. And if the
Right.
strings so he's all excited
It's
about
all
this.
energy.
Yep. So not only that, because he did the class today, I suggested to him, I said, you know, if you're going out country, I said, find a cafe and
Mm-hmm.
just ask them if you can do little tea leaf readings, just little 10-minute tea leaf readings, because he was really good at it. And
Perfect.
I said, that'll pay for your petrol. So he's toddling
Mm-hmm.
off for the next 5 weeks, all excited. So I told him he's got to report back to where the heck he ends up with his little
Absolutely.
strips going all over
Yeah.
the place.
Yep. And that's actually a beautiful little segue. I can throw something in there. After our last live stream, I was contacted by someone who wasn't at the retreat, but said to me that after listening to all the stories and watching that live stream, they really felt like they were moving through that energy and moving through that experience, and they felt better than they had in a while. And then they said to me, you know, it really should be a book so everyone can go on that journey. So I've been a bit busy in the last 2 weeks writing, writing, writing. Now, what's nice about it is as I'm writing, I'm back in the energy of being there. The downside of that is my energy's through the roof and I haven't been sleeping very well. So, so it's a bit of a a double-edged sword, that one, but it has been really nice to write it. Something else I've learnt through this is the previous books and a lot of the work that I put out, of course, is channeled. So I just take it like dictation from the guides and angels, and I really don't have to edit or change it because I keep it as pure communication as is received. This, on the other hand, is more a novel type story to take people along, but interweaving all the true stories of everybody's experience within it. Oh, it's a lot harder. It's much easier when I can just take dictation. So maybe I'm
Okay.
not as good a writer as I thought I was.
So that actually segues into tonight's topic
It does.
because we're talking about intuition
Mm,
and how to discern whether it's
mhm,
your head or your intuition.
mhm.
So your intuition is the is what Kerrie does when she channels. There is no question.
Yeah.
She trusts implicitly what her guides are telling her. And as she's writing, she writes all the way down to the page. And then as they keep talking, she writes along the bottom of the page, up the side of the page, onto the next page, and all over the place. And the difference, one of the main differences between, I'm calling you out here, my girlfriend.
I
One of
know, and you've seen my journal, so you know
I've
exactly what
seen
I
your
look
journals, yeah. But one of the main things about this is intuition is the how.
like. Mm,
Intuition is I am receiving. How do I work with this? And you
mhm,
don't judge, you don't question, you just write, or in my case, speak.
mhm, mhm.
Discernment is when your stupid brain kicks in
Yeah.
and gives you the why.
Yes.
And my take on this is when I'm doing a reading, if something pops into my head and my first thought is, oh, for the love of God, I can't say that. The minute that comes into my head, I think this is really important. I need to say that because
Mhm.
that was channeled. And if
Yeah.
I don't say that, this person's going to miss the message.
Yeah.
So,
Particularly when it's something that seems, oh, that's just really out there, it's really crazy, or it's really obscure.
yeah,
Um, because it can mean so much more to that person. And that's the learning in it, isn't it? Because it doesn't need to make sense to you. Not
no,
when you're receiving for somebody else. It just needs to make sense to that person.
yeah.
Yep,
My little
absolutely.
class today learned that.
Mm,
They
very
learned
good.
that in spades. And what was
So,
really interesting with them was they were reading for each other, and people
yeah,
were saying, "Oh my goodness, that's so scarily accurate,"
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's because they weren't thinking;
yeah,
they were
just
just
allowing it
speaking
to
it.
flow. Yep. So, I've got a little meditation just to join the energy for everybody tonight. So, I might start with that. So, before we get into the major part of tonight's conversation, I just want to invite you all just to take a moment with us. So, wherever you are right now, I just want you to gently allow yourself to arrive in this space. Moment, or simply soften your gaze. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and gently release it. Again, breathe in slowly and breathe out fully. With each breath, allow the noise of the day to soften. The thoughts, the responsibilities, the movement of the mind. Just let them drift to the side for a moment. And now bring your awareness to your heart. Imagine a soft light there, warm and peaceful. with every breath, that light grows a little brighter. This light is your inner knowing, your connection to spirit, your quiet place of truth. Sometimes our minds become busy with questions and analysis, but beneath all of that, there is always a deeper wisdom, a gentle inner voice that speaks through feeling, through stillness, through moments of quiet recognition. Tonight, we simply allow ourselves to listen, not with effort, but with openness. And just notice what arises within you. Perhaps a sense of calm, perhaps a feeling of curiosity, or perhaps simply a quiet awareness that you are present. Now imagine that the light within your heart begins to expand, softly surrounding your whole body, creating a space of peace and clarity around you. In this space, intuition can be heard more easily. In this space, guidance becomes clearer. Sit for just a moment and allow yourself the curiosity and openness to whatever wisdom may come forward. And I'll call you back shortly. Gently, gently now, focus again on the sound of my voice. Take a deep breath, and when you're ready, bring your awareness back to this moment, knowing that your intuition, your inner guidance is always available to you. And tonight we simply explore how to recognize its voice. Feel your feet on the floor and the feel of the chair beneath you. Take a deep breath and another. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes.
Oh dear.
I wasn't sure I was going to get you back.
I wasn't sure I was going to come back.
you know, what I like about just bringing in that particular meditation for the topic tonight is because so often it is within that stillness that we begin to recognize the quiet voice of intuition. It's in the busyness that we miss it. Doesn't mean it's not there, it's just harder to hear. So I think just, taking ourselves into that space, particularly when it's something important we're seeking guidance on, it's just a really nice way to sort of open up that intuition, sit in the stillness and just listen for a little while. So I guess there's a question, I suppose. I've got a question for everyone in chat and for you too, Annie, right? Do you usually trust your first intuitive feeling, or do you tend to question it?
For me, that one's really easy. And I feel it's because I work in this space that I never question it.
Mm.
I never ever. Some of my greatest epiphanies come in the shower because I'm
Yeah.
doing something else,
Mhm.
And I think sometimes a lot of people, when they get into this busy headspace,
Mhm.
it's really difficult to calm your mind. So for me, if I'm in the shower, I'm doing something else, and all of a sudden stuff starts to just come in.
Mhm.
And again, like digging in the garden, or, if I'm doing something, for me, it's more meditation in action,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
sort of think about it. Just
Mhm.
put the question out and then take the dogs a walk,
Yeah.
or do something. Um, and I think that's one of the things that people struggle the most with, is that learning to trust, and that then having the confidence to
Mhm.
actually follow through on that, whether it's for yourself or for other people.
Yeah.
But,
And
like, there's a whole lot of people on here, like Gail's saying she's
she's
learned.
learned to trust.
Um, yeah,
Michelle's
and
got a question mark.
yeah,
Learning to trust. So Anne's learning to trust more and more. That's awesome. Depends on mood. I get that, Rhiannon. Ray, I've learnt to trust more, because when I don't, I get annoyed with myself. I mean, how many times have you had a feeling and then dismissed it and then kicked yourself afterwards? I knew that. Yeah. First
one of
thought,
my things
right?
is the first thought's the best thought, and that's in one of my books that I use for training. The
Mm-hmm.
minute you go into overthinking, it
Yeah.
takes all the power away from it. And it's like what I was saying. Oh heck, should I say that out loud? And the
Yeah.
minute you do that, you're not in intuition. You're in left brain.
Yeah. You're back into analytical mode.
Yeah.
It's funny. Negative feelings can be very strong because they're warnings.
Yeah.
It's also part of our instincts to have that warning. You feel the energy is off. And I think something that's interesting with all of this, whether you want to call it intuition, psychic abilities, communication with your guides and angels, all of it is about connecting in and recognizing energy. So it's still energy work in one form or another, which we really saw at the retreat as well. And we did touch on that last fortnight with Anne, the flower reader. Like, she hadn't done the flower reading before, but she really trusted that she's just reading the energy imprint of the person that selected the flower. So again, it's just tuning into that energy and recognizing that. And it's a learning to trust first thoughts again, but can doubt myself. Yeah, and we all do it. And it's that discernment. Like I do put out intuition practice exercises, and I do that because the more we practice it, the easier it is for us to discern, over time, is that my intuition or is that just the one I would prefer to be the right answer? So you start to discern mind over just that first intuitive thought. Um, Needing to believe in myself, which is trusting. I feel I need, as you said, to recognize it. Yeah, and that is the trick. Is that
I'm going to I'm going to flip this one a little bit,
Mhm.
because Michelle and anybody else who has these doubts,
Mm.
it's not yourself that you're not trusting, because intuition comes from your guides, your angels. It comes from an external source.
Your higher
And
self, your soul self. Yep.
yeah, so it's your guides or your angels or your higher self that you're questioning. And in all honesty, like Lisa has said, it's so hard to ignore these days. If it's
Mhm.
often it doesn't feel right in our body and our mind.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about trusting you. It's about
Yeah.
trusting whoever it is that's sending you the message, whether that's an ancestor, a family member, a guide, an angel, whoever, because
Mhm.
they will never, ever, ever, ever set you wrong.
Yeah.
Like if they're sending intuition to you, or they're sending, and most people, the best way to describe it is gut feeling.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you know in your guts that this does not feel right, or
Mhm.
this feels really good, that's what Ray was talking about. If you
Yeah.
go against it, everything goes to hell in a handbasket.
Absolutely.
Like if you meet somebody and you think there's something not right about this, like this person doesn't feel like my person, and you
Mm.
think I'll give them a go. Nine
Mm.
times out of 10, your initial instinct, your initial intuition is going to be right.
Right. Yeah. So when we talk about that, and I think there's different steps, and I have dot pointed it because I thought if I didn't dot point what the angels were sort of suggesting we cover tonight, I would go off on a tangent. We'd be here like till tomorrow morning. So I've got some. So what they wanted me to talk to everyone out about is recognizing what the signs of genuine guidance are. So something, Annie, you talk about often is it's just a sudden knowing. You just know. And it's that feeling of, I just know that's right. When you get that before the mind kicks in, that's your intuition. When the mind kicks in, you can overanalyze it and you can almost talk yourself back out of it. But that initial sudden knowing is definitely a way that the communication comes in. There's also repeating symbols, like when they're trying to get our attention on something, we know about this. Your angel numbers, you just see them over and over and over again. And if you're not sure what they are or what that meaning is, go and look it up because they're trying to draw your attention to a certain thing. So spirit communication can come in through symbols like numbers, can come in through other people randomly just meeting someone that's actually talking about something that you've been thinking about. So that spirit communication can actually come in multiple ways. It's more our job to recognize it. And sometimes that is about just taking the step back, not reacting to what's coming through straight away, just letting it sit with you to get the meaning of what's actually coming through. Did you want to add anything to that, Annie?
No, that was a really good description. The only thing about that is, don't pause and sit with it for too long, because you'll kick into analysis.
Oh, that's it.
Like this has happened so often. And I've said this too. I analyze nothing. I just
Yeah.
analyze absolutely nothing. And Kerrie is my queen of analysis.
Mhm,
And like, I don't need to know how. I don't need to know why. I don't give a shit why. I just do
mhm.
it. And then
Yeah.
Kerrie will say, "Did you feel this?" And I went, I'll go, "Yeah." And she'll say, "Well, what do you think it means?" And I say, "I've got no freaking idea. I
That's
just did
true.
it." Or she'll say, "Why did you do that?" And I'll say, "I don't know. I just felt like I needed to."
Needed to. Mhm,
That's one of the things that Lisa was talking about when
mhm.
she was saying it's so hard to ignore. If it's
Yeah.
often it doesn't feel right, or
Hmm.
if it's a I just feel like I need to do this. I don't even
Yeah.
think that. I just
Yeah.
work on automatic pilot. And
Hmm.
then my beautiful friend here comes in and says, "Why do you think you felt like that?" And I say,
Yeah.
"I've got no blessed idea." And
Yeah.
once I start to think, sometimes I can work it out, sometimes I don't care. Like sometimes to me
Hmm.
it's not important.
Yeah.
Hi, Poppy. But
Hi, Poppy. Welcome.
don't sit too long, because if you sit too long, that rational part of your brain will think, well, why am I doing this? And then
Yeah.
you'll second guess,
Yeah.
you know. So I would say if you feel it, hear it, sense it, taste it, touch
Hmm.
it, just freaking run with it. And
Yeah.
once you've done that, then think about it.
Yeah. And honestly, that's how, look, most of my writing will happen is intuitively. I'm almost getting a dictation. So in a way, that's clairaudient, right? Because I'm hearing it. Sometimes they'll show me, so clairvoyant, right? So all your clairs start coming into play. And I write it and then I analyze it afterwards. Because if I analyze it in the middle, I just block it. So
Yeah,
it
you
doesn't
stop it.
work. It then becomes my thinking mind overtaking what I'm receiving spiritually. Poppy, welcome aboard. So lovely. I'm so glad you could catch our live tonight. Um, yeah,
Poppy wants to ask a question. Pop it in the
yeah,
chat, Poppy.
yeah, pop it in the chat. So look, I think one of the most important things that people misunderstand about intuition is that quite often it can come in as a feeling, right? As a sense. Oh, that doesn't feel right, because you're feeling the energy. Or, oh, that feels like the way I should go. That feels like the right move for me. And people refer to it as feel, right? Rather than a first thought, right? So it's interesting that we can misunderstand it a little bit that way. So it's really a quiet sense of knowing. Sometimes a warmth in the chest, sometimes it's in the gut, right? So you're listening to really the sensations, heart chakra, solar plexus chakra, third eye chakra, really, right, is where it's coming in. So you're listening to those, like a tightening in the stomach, or you can sense it first. So sometimes to differentiate, you actually need you to ask yourself, did that just come in without like a reaction to it? Or have I now put my reaction on it? Right? Because when you put your reaction on it, that's the mind. That's when your mind's kicked in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Don't think. Thinking is a bad, bad thing.
I know. Just let it flow.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the other thing with this too is that intuition tends to be simple and immediate, you know? So if someone asks you the question, and or you ask yourself, and in the intuition exercises, I always say, ask yourself, which one will remain, or which number is on this card, or whatever it is. Because when you ask yourself the question, the answer comes in immediately. And sometimes the answer comes to you before you've even finished thinking the question, right? And then you start to discern between whether or not it's actually a spirit communication, higher self intuition, etc., or whether it's the mind kicking in. So there are a couple of ways that you can actually tell the difference. Once you start to do that, like the analytical mind just feels different energetically. So understanding the difference energetically, it's more that, oh, really? Oh, maybe I've overthought that. That's where we can get ourselves into trouble in discerning between the two. So that's really what's going on. And it becomes then a mental analysis of what you've been given. So when you're first learning to do this and trust your intuition, ask yourself the question. It's the immediate response that comes in before you think about it. And it can come in as a feeling. Then the more that you work out how it comes in. It may come in as just a knowing. It may come in as a feeling. It may come in as words you hear in your head, like it's your own thoughts within your head, but it's the immediate one. As you learn that, that is also a signpost as to what area of the clairs, right, you connect with the most. So if you're getting it as as like you hear it come in, clairaudience, right? If you get it as a gut feeling, clairsentience, right? If you get it, I just know, claircognizance. And then you can start to work with those areas of your clairs to expand them even further. Sorry, Annie, did you want to jump in?
I'm just laughing at Colleen.
Oh,
She's decided that she's clairverbal. The first thing out of her mouth or into her thoughts. And she knows whether it's a lie or whether it's bad or whether it's true.
you know what? I would have to say that because I've been in conversations with Cole where the most profound things come out of her mouth and she goes, I don't even know where that came from. Yeah. And she does it with writing as well, where she just starts it. And I can always tell the difference as to, Colleen, I hope this doesn't upset you. When she writes to me, normally there might be a couple of spelling errors because she's just with the thinking mind. But when she does it through spirit, there isn't any. Can always tell the difference in your writing. I know. It's funny. It's like you've just slowed down for that moment to get it rather than, you know, those autocorrect errors and things that we get along the way when we're texting something to someone in a hurry. Yeah. So very, very interesting. So I think the next thing to understand when it's spirit communicating with you is looking at signs from the universe that are so random that they can't be random. I know that sounds crazy, right? But it's patterns and experiences that just feel so meaningful that it has to have a higher purpose. It can't just be random. So a beautiful, and because I've been writing, I've been thinking about this, a beautiful explanation of that is when we were at the retreat and Kathy was doing her energy walk, the energy or the draw of the energy, and that's also connection to energy and guidance, right, through spirit communication to lead you to the spot that you need to go to for your energy. When she did that, she ended up in front of this tree, but at the bottom of the garden were all these shoes, and Kathy is a dancer. So the shoes had specific meaning to her, and it validated for her that she was actually taken to the right spot. So that's something totally random that nobody else knew was actually even there at the time. And it's so random and out there that it can't be random. Did you want to add anything to that, Annie?
For me, it's music. It's really interesting too because a lot of the times when I'm gallivanting around, I'll be thinking about my brother and Phil Collins will come on, and I'll just say, hello, Alan, you're in the car with me.
Yeah.
And last weekend, Kerrie, AJ, and I were going to the races, and out of the blue on my radio came Shania Twain. Now, she's my sister. That was my sister's music. And I'm like, oh, hello, Moira, you're coming to the races with me. When she was alive, she used to go to the races. When she came over here to visit, her and her husband went to the Eagle Farm racetrack with my daughter and her husband. And I thought, oh, I bet you've got your fancy fascinator on and your high heels. You're coming to the races with me. And it's just so, it really is about recognizing, you know, and it was like once you start to put it all together, my sister was coming with me to the races. Shania Twain was in the car, so was my sister. She loved that space. So she was with me all day at the races. And it sounds ridiculous. It just doesn't even sound like it's anything sensible. But I just know and see if I ignore it. and I don't acknowledge either my sister or my brother, they set off my freaking fire alarm at 3 o'clock
Yeah,
in the
that's right.
morning.
So it's
So it's
just sort of
easier
that
just to say
recognition, isn't it?
hello.
Yeah. Which is actually what Poppy was sort of asking here. So last year she went to her dad's grave for the first time. She got a strange frequency through her body, and her arms felt weak, like a wave moving inside. Now, what that can feel like is, if I can explain that, when I communicate, I do ask, who am I talking to? So if it's guides, um, do you have a name? Do you walk in God's light? Like around the protection, you always should discern who you're talking to, and you need to be at that higher level when you're doing that. And can you give me a physical sign is the third thing, because I can be in different places and I can get that same physical sign, and I will immediately know that angel, guide, loved one, whoever it might be, is around me. So, Poppy, what you're experiencing there is the feeling that they're saying, hey, I know that you're here. The reason it can stay with you is because they still want you to recognize it, to acknowledge, oh, yes, I know it's you, right? And then it can lift. It's just they're really wanting to communicate with you and say, hey, I'm okay. I still exist. I'm around you. And that's like what Annie was saying. If she ignores it, then they set off the fire alarm. So yeah, very much that same sort of thing. And Michelle, I do have music songs popping into my head, some ancestor work I was doing. Exactly, right? So it's those random things that just happen out of nowhere that actually have a significant meaning to you, that is an indication that that communication is coming through, or they're wanting to communicate with you. If you were to do a meditation and raise your energy and sit in stillness, you may actually get more of the information come through if you just allow it to flow, right? But it's very important that you do meditate, that you do raise your energy for that communication, and so that you are protected in that space. You're not just opening up to anything coming through. You are working with the higher levels. So that is an important thing to do. But rather than forcing a meaning into events, it is again about that you just know that it's significant. And it is a feeling of knowing that that's significant, right? So again, this a little bit of discernment comes in. But the more you work with it, the more you sit in stillness, the easier it is to start to discern one from the other. Can be like signposts in a way.
Yeah. One of the things, like, there's a lot of you on here that have gone through my meditation. And one of the things that I do when I'm going into communication or I'm doing my work is I link all the clairs, because it's actually not about how you communicate. It's much more about how your family members, guides, or angels can communicate with you. And like everybody knows about clairvoyance, because that's the one that gets bandied about all over the place. And clairvoyance is actually the one that is least often assigned, because that's clear seeing. Now, there are people who can see spirit, but 95% of the people that do this stuff, they either, it comes in a different way, So I join all the clairs by going up through my chakras. I open my mouth to you, I open my ears to you, I open my eyes to you, I open my heart to your head, crown to you. So all my clairs are working. So however they can manage to get into me, it's not about me, it's definitely about them, because if it's someone who has, this has happened to me a couple of times, it doesn't happen very often, but if it's somebody who has recently passed, who has unfinished business and needs to communicate to the person that I'm sitting in front of, they just slam me. It's like bang, because they're new, they don't know how to do it. And I'm on this side not knowing how to do it either.
And so just super excited that someone might be able to hear them.
Yeah. Like, oh, here I am. Please tell her this. Please tell her this. And So, and again, if they're brand new or are brand new past, they can't quite adjust
Yeah.
to the frequency. So it literally is like, "Oi, I'm here.
Yeah.
You can hear me. You're here. Listen,
Hmm.
listen." And
Hmm.
and then I've got to go and have a shower. I've got to go and undo myself, bring
Yeah.
myself back down again, you know,
Yeah.
and shake it off
Shake.
because
Yeah. Yeah,
get rid of
because
the
you really
energy.
feel the energy coming through. Gail mentioned here too, there have been some different frequencies coming in quite loudly lately, and I get woken by them. It's very interesting. Absolutely. And when it's not tinnitus, right? So there is a difference between these two. So you actually got to separate tinnitus, which is the imbalance in the eardrums, versus being able to hear these really high frequencies. Quite often, the high frequencies are related to angelic realm, right? Because it's very high frequency. So it can often indicate that the angels are around you. They're watching over you. You may have asked for assistance. They're trying to let you know that they are around. And if you can sit in stillness with them, they can provide that guidance. So quite often, that really high frequency can be related to angelic realms. So it's really
Can I
interesting.
can I chuck in here that
Mhm,
you know all of this stuff? If you think go right back to basics here, and you think about little people,
mhm,
little people have what they get called invisible friends. Now, they are not invisible to that little person because
correct.
little people haven't got the whatever knocked out of them, the intuition knocked out of them yet. They're
Mhm,
still really in tune. They can see auras, they can sense
mhm,
energies, and they can actually see people. And
yeah,
like there's all these stories about little people talking to their granny or talking to their daddy or talking to whoever,
mhm,
you know. And it so what happens as we become grown up and our logical adulting brain kicks in is that's when we start to doubt stuff. And everything that's gone all
mhm,
psychic, for want of a better expression,
yeah,
the people make it really, really complicated.
and
And
it's
it's
not,
so not.
no,
It's, and like if you feel somebody around them or around you, just say hello. It's like, like if my sister pops in, it's like, hello, Moira. Like she's sitting beside me. There's not anything airy, fairy, spooky, scary about this stuff. It's normal and it's natural. And the only time it gets you all tied up in knots is
yeah,
when you complicate it and
mhm,
overthink it and try to analyze it.
yeah,
So pretend you're three.
yeah, that's such a key thing. Um,
Yeah.
and Nessa, it can also work with telepathy, right? So it doesn't have to just be with people on the other side. Like when someone's really thinking about you or they're feeling that connection, if they're thinking about you, when they think about you, they're sending out that frequency and it's tuning in like you're the radio receiver, right? So they're thinking about you, and because that's your frequency they're thinking about, you're actually feeling it come into you at that point. And here's a random thought. They're definitely feeling that connection with you and saying that connection is still there because of the name Poppy. So, Poppy, you may not realize this, but you actually provided a random, non random synchronicity to confirm something for someone else in chat tonight. See, this is perfect example. Thank you, guides and angels, of how this works, right? And that random synchronicity that comes in.
Poppy, see this itching ears almost every day and sometimes weird sound. I've got this sound, it's been in my ears for like weeks now.
Mhm.
It does come and go, particularly when I'm working. It's that high level frequency. It doesn't annoy me, it's just bloody well there.
Mm.
Um, Now, that itching, this is really random, but there's a school of thought in a lot of kind of First Nations people that if you've got itchy ears, it's someone in spirit talking about you.
Mm,
Like they're telling somebody up there, oh, there's my daughter, or there's my niece, or there's my
mm.
sister, and completely off the wall. But sometimes that's what it is. It's like your ears are maybe burning, and it's someone in spirit having a chat to somebody up there or watching over you and saying, oh, look,
Oh,
there
yeah.
you are.
Absolutely. So just going back to what you were saying before, Annie, um, I think one of the biggest reasons that people actually doubt their intuition and the spiritual guidance that they actually receive is that simple fact that we were taught to trust logic above everything else, you know? And because of that, from a really young age, we were being encouraged to analyze, reason, apply all of those things, gather evidence before making decisions. We were really educated out of trusting that inner knowing, trusting that natural reaction, the first reaction that we have to things. And I'm not saying that being able to think things through and apply critical thinking, right, to situations, that's extremely valuable, right? So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater here, right? That is really extremely valuable. But it does make people question that quiet inner guidance that they get because the analytical mind comes over. And it's exactly as you said, it was taught out of us. Whereas a child, you'd get a feeling straight away, I don't want to talk to that person, or I don't want to, you're reacting to the energy and you're trusting that immediately, that instinct. And then it does get educated out of us. And I think another thing that can be tricky with this and people don't trust it is because intuition is subtle a lot of the time. Like it's just, oh yeah, I just know this. And it can come in quite gently and quite subtly. Whereas the analytical mind sort of shouts over the top of it, right? And drowns it out. So I think once we can discern the difference between that subtlety of what's coming in, did I just get it and respond to it, react to it afterwards? Or is this thinking a reaction going into the analytical mind? And just asking yourself those questions can really help you know, is this spirit or is this my mind? Right? Which is really our topic for tonight, is how do we do that? So it is that subtleness of it coming in.
There's some huge validations in here because Lisa, who I've put up some of the things that she says, and she gets itchy ears when she
Mm,
connects. Esther, itchy nose. Now,
yeah.
both Esther and Lisa work in this space. Both of them are mediums.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same kind of thing, like, so for any of you who are getting itchy ears or, whatever, or itchy, whatever, any of these signs, this is just confirmation that
Mm-hmm.
these people who are in this space and working in this space are
Mm-hmm.
getting the same stuff. So basically, you're not nuts. You're not
No.
crazy. It's happening to a lot of people,
Yeah.
and we cannot all be wrong. Now,
Yeah.
Poppy, if this is your papa coming in, um, obviously he's, like surrounding you with love and being there with you. And I think because we've been in this space with you and had that conversation, it's like, oh, she's here. She knows this is happening. And I
Yeah.
think that's what
That's the
he's getting.
excitement.
He's
Mm-hmm.
getting closer to you through that
Mm-hmm.
excitement. So I
Mm-hmm.
would say just sit in that and
Yeah.
enjoy the love that he's sending you.
Yeah. And that emotion that's attached to it, and I say this all the time, energy in motion, right? So as you're recognizing that energy and it's being validated and they're feeling, I'm not going to use the word seen, they're feeling felt and acknowledged, right, in that moment, then that's the energy in motion happening, that excitement, that joy mixed with the emotion of it. So, you really do feel it come in that way as well.
Now, the other thing that confuses people is that when people pass over, they their personality doesn't change.
No.
So if they were cheeky and naughty and any of these, different emotions, that's how they're going to come through. And
Hmm.
I've had kids come through, and I'm like, I can't sit at peace. It's like, with a baseball bat on back, a baseball hat on back to front, and he's like, hey, hey, I'm here, hey, yo, and they're really cheeky,
Yeah.
and I'm here, and it just that sort of stuff. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's just so nice when you're feeling that, and again, that doesn't happen very often, but
Yeah.
when it does, it's so so special.
Oh,
So
yeah. Because I was feeling that beautiful energy. You know, strengthening our connection with spirit really doesn't require it to be complicated. It really doesn't. And we just keep saying this over and over again. Sometimes it's just about creating moments of stillness where we can actually let things come in clearly and just being able to calm the mind. So, breath work, a meditation that actually has a space in it so you can just be. Because we are human beings, not human doings, but we're human doings most of the time, and we need to learn how to just be. Right? So, if we can sit in that stillness, that's the easiest way to start to learn to strengthen that connection to the guidance that's wanting to come through to us, because it's all signposts on our journey. And I know with angel numbers coming through, very often seeing those synchronicities coming in are a signpost. Hey, you're on the right path. Keep going. We're seeing what you're doing. You're aligning well with the path that you were meant to go forward with on your journey, what you're meant to learn.
can I say, sit in stillness with no expectation
Yes,
at
exactly.
all. If you're like out in nature, in your yard, on a beach, don't think that's that word again. Don't kick your head in to, I'm going to
Mhm.
sit here and somebody's going to come and talk to me. And why is nobody coming to talk to me? I'm waiting. Like, phone me. Don't have any expectation,
Yeah.
you know, because that's your thinking brain. Why is
Mhm.
nothing happening? Oh, I should be vacuuming. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
hungry. No expectation.
No.
Just plonk yourself. Waves or trees or your garden or the gym. For these people that are crazy gym junkies,
Yeah.
running's a meditation. You
Yeah.
know, it's like you're so totally in your body
Mhm.
that your head's not doing anything.
Yep.
So there's space for stuff to pop into your head because it's not full of shit.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sorry, peeps, but that's
Exactly.
what happens.
Yeah, that's right. And Michelle, you're right. Journaling can work really well too, because once you start actually just writing down, you can just let it flow through. You know, so and very different to automatic writing. That's where you have no idea what's coming through. It's more like, in a way, I call it a dictation when I do it. Um, but that journaling of what's coming through can really connect and align you. Absolutely. Like that's a really good way to do it. Um, and another powerful way to do it is just pause before you react. Right? Right? If you pause for that slight moment, right? Um, and just ask yourself the question, that's quite often that answer will just come in the stillness. Right? So all of these are practice things that you can learn and you can teach yourself to reconnect and understand how your inner guidance works. How does it come through for you? And it may come through in multiple ways, but really discerning it is knowing, yep, I just felt that, and it was the very first thing that came into me before I started, is that right? Where did that come from? Before I start asking myself all those other analytical questions with mind jumping in at that point. So that's doodling is a great way too. Yeah.
Yeah, Esther says Tyler Henry, who's the Hollywood medium, he doodles. And Michelle, She does intuitive doodling. And our Colleen, she does intuitive Googling.
Oh, yeah.
Not
That's
Googling, doodling.
incredible. Yeah,
And it's
incredible.
incredible stuff that she puts together.
Yeah,
And
what you see in it.
said, I just doodled this, and if you just look at it, you think, oh my goodness
Here's the
gracious.
next masterpiece. It's just incredible what she has
So
in it.
intricate.
Yeah, absolutely. So, over time, the more that you do this, and over time, when you acknowledge the guidance and go, oh, wow, that was actually guided, the more times that you recognize it and trust it, the stronger it becomes, right? So that's what I encourage you all to do, actually trust that initial thought coming in. Do some little practice things with it as well. Now, with practice, like even with the intuition practice exercises, where I'm just trying to get you to click into the energy. And when I do those videos, I'm actually also thinking the word and projecting the energy into those videos at the same time. So if you're picking up on that energy, you'll quite often get it right. But what I need to say to people is don't get disheartened with those either, because some of the best psychics, clairvoyants, right, that I know probably get between an 85 and 90% hit rate on those, right? Because it is a different way of doing it. But it is a nice way to start discerning how that information is coming through for you. So on that note, I thought, sorry, I better check my notes and make sure I've covered everything Spirit asked me to cover, right? Because otherwise I'm going to get in trouble. So let me just go down.
Okay, you have a look. Michelle, one of the names was Tyler Henry, and he's the Hollywood medium, and you can catch him on YouTube. He's all over the place. He reads like B-grade movie stars and things. He's actually incredible. He's really, really good at what he does. And he's only young. He's just a baby. And Colleen is our bubble girl. She's on with us. She usually works behind the scenes for us. Ray is saying that she paints intuitively.
Yeah.
Her paintings are incredible. So some of her stuff is up on her Facebook page. So I'll give you a little plug, Ray, if you want to have a look at some of the paintings that Ray does. Ray also, Colleen introduced us to intuitive art, and we've ran with it in Brisbane. And Ray now has taken that because she came to one of our classes, and she's taken that and she uses that up in Harvey Bay sometimes. But, it's like the more you do things, the better you get at it. And like, I look at Ray's just done a painting of the ocean, and I looked at it and I thought, that's just freaking spectacular.
Yeah.
And it's like every time I see her stuff, it just gets better and better and better. And maybe it's because she's saying now she paints intuitively and doesn't think about it.
Yeah.
It's
just
kind
trust
of
the inspiration, trust the guidance.
Yeah, because it's not about the end result. It's more about the process.
Yeah.
And then
Gail
you'll
said
be
she loves
amazed at what happens.
Yeah, and Gail's saying she loves to do that as well. Yeah, so guys, really the more you trust it, the more you do it, the stronger it becomes, to the point where it was Michelle, I think, saying it earlier, that it's so strong I actually can't ignore it. And that's where you're all going to get, right? It's just that practice and that trust. So speaking about that, I thought we'd do a quick little activity. Can we do that?
You go.
Here you've got a circle and a star and wavy lines. Does everyone know what these are? And a square and a plus sign. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to just choose one of them, and I'm going to hold it up. I want you to connect with it, connect with the energy. I am going to be thinking in my mind and sending out to you what it is that's on this card. I will both picture it and say it. And please, please, please go with your very first thought and pop it in comments. Okay, you ready? Okay, I
Come on,
think we.
people. Don't
I know
overthink it.
that's what I was thinking.
Whack it in the comments.
Yep, whack it in. Don't think too long because you're not going to get it. You're just letting your thinking mind jump in. Okay, are we ready? There you go.
Nailed it.
There you go. The wavy lines. So
Nailed
for those
it.
who got that one, well done.
Sometimes I
There
don't get
wasn't a
them, but
heart,
I got that
Caleb.
one.
There wasn't a heart. And yeah, so look, just a really quick one. You can find I do put up intuition exercises on the Harmony for Tranquility page. So you can always find them there or on my TikTok, which is Kerrie J. So you can get those there. We do them all the time. So yeah, look, it's just a quick one just to get you guys trusting yourselves with that.
Yeah.
And
They got
then
it. Paul got it. Esther
I
got
know,
it.
look at that.
Vanessa got it.
Look at you guys go.
Yeah. Good
Awesome.
job.
So practice that, guys, and even do it with yourself. Like put some cards down, mix them all up, hold one in your hand and go, what is it? Right? Ask yourself the question. Now, the easiest way is say, what shape is on that card? Ask yourself the question and then the very first thought that comes to you. All right? So just start playing with that. You'll also start to notice how that information comes through to you, in what form. Learn to trust that more and learn to expand on it. There you go. Rhiannon, antenna must be a bit wonky. Yeah.
Maybe you're tuned to a different channel.
That's it.
Poppy,
And as I
good
said,
job. Well done.
85 to 90%, people who are really good professional readers will get it about 85 to 90% of the time. So, it's just a different way of reading the energy. So that's really good. So now I want to ask the chat some questions. Can I do that? I want you to tell me, think about this one. What is the clearest sign that spirit has ever given you? If I want a sec to answer. So the question was, what is the clearest sign? Yelled in my ear, says Gal. Yep.
I got smacked across the back of the head one day.
Yeah.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Whack. Ray's got feathers.
Feathers, yep. Birds are interesting too. Yep.
Tree snakes.
Yeah.
Pains in your legs. Just a side note here. If you get pains, sometimes it'll reflect on it'll be like the person who's passed that's trying to talk to you. You might be picking up on some of their symptoms. As soon as you get it, what you have to do is say, okay, this isn't mine, take it away.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Take it away.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Heart-shaped rocks.
Love that. Love that. Go quickly now, and it actually saved you. Yes, absolutely. And 2 birds always visit. Yeah, so there are these definite signs that spirit gives you, and I love that. So just as a way to sort of close off, because we have gone over time, we always go over time, to close off, I just want everyone to understand that the intuition and guidance is there every single day in our lives. We can't actually stop that guidance coming in, because as spiritual beings that are animating a physical body, we're always connected to the energy. So it is coming in all the time. What we need to do is uneducate ourselves as to what was educated into us, right, around the logical mind, and give ourselves that space and the stillness to allow it to come in. So I just think that it becomes easier to recognize those quiet moments when spirit's gently guiding us forward, just when we are a human being. Be rather than doing. So I just want to encourage you all to do that because it's not rare, it's not separate from us, it's actually quite simple. It's just allowing ourselves to do that. So every single one of you have got gifts of spirit. So it's just reconnecting and trusting that again. So that was pretty well everything the guides and angels asked me to cover with you all. Woke me up in the middle of the night with a call from an unknown number. There's a fuzzy call, no one there. Yeah, that's another way. That's crazy, Anessa. And I've heard of that a lot. In fact, I don't think Les is on here tonight. But
No, I haven't seen him.
But he's received phone calls that actually come up with my brother's name. You know, Michael is calling you. Michael passed several years ago. So it's a definite validation. Look, I've been trying to get through to you. You're not sure who it is that's trying to give you all these signs. It's me. So, yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, forgotten about that. Particularly anything energy-based they can use as signs and synchronicities. Most definitely. So, Annie, will we do a quick card draw for the collective? There you go. Over to you then.
This just makes me laugh. I don't know if you can read this. Ears wide open.
That's it. Perfect.
A higher view. Raise your energy. Listen for the signs. It's going to be a powerful move. I just love spirit.
Yeah, I know. I've got
one more. The last one I picked up is great big love.
Yep.
And that's what usually comes down from spirit. Everything that comes from spirit is great big love. So there you go. What have you got, Miss?
I'm laughing because I've look, I'm in a mess, right? Because I had cards falling out all over the place as I was shuffling. But guys, I can't read all of those. I'm just reading the top three, okay? Right, thank you. Let me just move all the rest out of the way. Right, just the top three. Oh, very interesting. Okay, so these are the unicorn cards. They're called Oracle of the Unicorn. The first card that came out is Innocence. And it's really about stepping back to that innocence, right? Just going, oh, yeah, I can just allow it to come in, you know, and trust it. Stepping back to that innocence, very childlike, right? Of just knowing that things are going to happen, knowing that that the information can just come through to you and you can trust your gut, right? A lot better, for want of a better word. So bringing in that innocence again. And then the next thing, intuition, pay attention to it. Funny about that, because that's what it's all about. This actually says, listen to the whispers of your heart. Use divination tools to help you decide. Right? So you can actually use other things. If you want to analyze and test it afterwards, please don't do that while you're in the middle of getting something, right? Because you'll block it. And trust your intuition no matter what. That's what the guys are saying. Trust it no matter what. And the last card that dropped was discernment. So the more that you do it, I know, that's what I'm going, are you serious? The more that you do it, the more you'll be able to trust what is coming. Yes, that's definitely higher self, spirit guides, angels, loved ones. It's definitely coming in through that intuition of what's right or wrong, or if someone's being truthful or not truthful, or is this the right path for me? So it's definitely coming in through that. And so the last one is just that discernment between mind and pure intuition and knowing through the energy. There you go, my lovelies. They're good at that, aren't they? I was laughing. 3 dropped and then I dropped a whole lot more. I'm trying to find the very first 3 that dropped, but there you go. So I think, intuition.
I think we're done.
Saw a fox on the way home recently after the tortoise. Yeah, Sophia and Gail were on their way home. Did you see those photos? First, they had to stop because a tortoise was crossing the road. So Sophia slowed down. This is at the bottom of my place. Sophia slowed down to let the tortoise go across the road, and then the tortoise started walking towards the car. So she actually had to get out and convince the tortoise to go the other way towards the pond. And then not long after that, a fox ran across and stopped and had a little look at them. So, so again, just signs and synchronicities that are so random, they're not random, right? They're confirmations. Gail saying intuition, love it. Thanks so much. You are so welcome. Have a wonderful fortnight. Thank you so much for joining us again tonight. We really enjoy spending time with you. We hope you found that interesting, helpful, encouraging, inspiring, because that's what your guides want it to be. They just want you to keep taking that step forward with your journey and with your connection. Have I missed anyone along the way, Annie? I don't think so.
Nope, I think you've managed to get everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm doing my duties here. No, I'm not.
Oh, okay, hang on.
Hold on. I'm going to do this because I can.
Because you can.
Yay!
Good. Well, we miss you, Colleen. Can you tell? Because we don't think about it.
No, you gave me a job and I did it.
I know you did it. You did
my
so job. So thanks so much, everyone, for being with us. We'll be back in another fortnight, and Annie's already been given her topic to share with you all. Guided as well, and that's super exciting. I'm really looking forward to that one. So hopefully we'll see you all back in a fortnight's time. Please like, comment, share the video, comment under the video. That helps a lot. Thank you so much. And
Bye, Mirani.
And if you're on YouTube, hi Mirani. And if you're on YouTube, you can also join in the chat group, Angel Feathers Spiritual Sanctuary chat group on Facebook. And we encourage you all to share your stories in there too. It's a beautiful community where we all support each other, and we love chatting in there and hearing what everyone's doing. Thank you, everybody.
Bless you all.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you, Miss Kelly.
Good night.
Annie whispers secrets in the night, mystical visions taking flight. Kerrie's got that angel glow so bright, gliding through the dark to the light. Tarot cards spread on the cosmic rug, healing power in a gentle hug. Meditations deep like an ancient grove, finding peace through the stars above. Mind, body, spirit, soul, we rise. Angel feathers falling from the sky, psychic waves in a gentle tide. Let the universe be our guide. Sound healing echoes through the air, lifted hearts with a tender care. Spiritual journeys we embark, lighting flames within the dark. Messages from angels clear and true, whispering love in all we do. Psychic development strong and wise, open paths to mystic skies. Mind, body, spirit, soul, we rise. Angel feathers